Good morning, fellow Nigerians across the globe. It's yet another wonderful day. As you already know, I am Church Unibe. This morning, I want us to quickly look at a message I simply titled, Your Language is Your Power, and the Key to Your Cultural Heritage. What we're actually doing in a time like this is to properly set alignment, creating a very distinct boundary between what is right and what is wrong. There are activities, actions that are introduced into the society at every given time. Some of them are intentionally introduced to a kind of completely re-engineer philosophically the mind of the people. If we don't pay attention and not very careful how we handle this issue meticulously, it becomes trend. Even when it's not supposed to be accepted, it becomes acceptable. And the moment it gives birth to error, the issue of addressing it becomes a burden. And the people will pay heavily for it. And so based on this simple truth, as a people, we feel this threat. We see this change coming. And believe me, we know the interior motive behind those actions. And so it is expected. We respond. We're not confronting yet, but we are calling on the attention of our people so that they know what is to come. It should be concerning to every well-meaning Nigerian to begin to ask questions in a time like this. Why are some group of Igbo Biafra people hell-bent in uniting with us? They say they are after Igbo unity. This same group of criminals want to divide Nigeria. And so they want to unite Nigeria on our expense. Or as always, they want to use us and dump us because we are minority. And there are a lot of questions you should begin to ask yourself. A group of people who say they are Igbo Biafra, the painful aspect is that they don't even know their history. Some of them say they come from Equatorial Guinea, others say they come from Jamaica, and then the other ones are children of Unli, they come from Israel. Israel has come to Nigeria to carry out forensic tests on their DNA. And they said, according to their report, that nothing like that. Because these people are still jumping up and down. And now, as if it's not okay for them. Now, Ikule is Igbo. Anyoma is Igbo. Eka is Igbo. Okwane is Igbo. And their father is a sub-Igbo group. To you, it doesn't matter. It's just a social media saga. What you must pay attention to is that these people are deliberately, philosophically, re-engineering the mindset of the next generation of our people. And so, if at this instant, this message does not make sense to you, don't worry. It will make sense to you tomorrow. And so save the video. In Eka Agbo, where I come from, there is an adage that says, in other words, your language is your power. It's amazingly that Ale is used for your language and your land. And so if you are an Eka man, you could fault me and said that parable actually means that your land is your power. But as a Eka man who can speak your language, you will also understand that Ale, onyaso, le Ale, inhebi, it's the same word we use for both land and our language. In other words, our land is our language, and our language is our land. They are separable, inseparable. Religious dogma. I want you to get it. The land where the umbilical of your ancestors are buried, it's your power. Today, without us laying claim to our land where we are aborigine, to our land that we own, even before there was Nigeria, even before this continent was called Africa, my brother, they will be shipping us up and down like slaves. The Israel know what it means to own the land. And that is why, despite the fact that for many years, supposedly, they were erased from the map, they did not stop because they know they will be hunted down anywhere like rats, like animal. And so they fought back and make sure the state of Israel was reinstated. And though we're not very comfortable with what is going on, but at least they understand that their land is their power, and so is their language. And so as a people today, if Nigeria is not fully aware that a particular piece of land belongs to a particular group of people, you don't know the misery you will go through today. You don't know what you will become today. And inasmuch as the Constitution of Nigeria has not taken our land from us, we cannot allow mere policy to take our land from us, which is our language. This may not be applicable to everybody, But because we have value, we have culture, we have tradition, we have heritage, we must protect by every means necessary. That is why we are passing this message. Let us return. In Eka Agbo, where I come from, I repeat again. There is an adage, a parable that says, Alionya Wondwa. And I repeat again. This Alionya Wondwa could either mean that your language is your power. It could mean your land is your power. And so if, for instance, your language is your power, and then there are some group of lunatics jumping up and down that you speak their language, invariably, they are telling you that they are the one who gives you authority. Authority to live, authority to exist. If they claim they own your land, that means you will be ejected anytime soon. You are just a tenant. And any day they like, they give you quick notice. And we have a choice to make at this junction. Do we speak as Eka people Igbo language? The answer is no. Does Eka land belong to Igbo people? The answer is no. This is one truth we must begin to resonate, begin to tell them every day. As we wake up any day, we see it on social media that we are sub-Igbo group, we must counter them. This is not saga. This is fighting to survive. We wake up, they say we are subgroup. We are not subgroup. We are older than them. Don't pretend it doesn't concern you. Don't pretend we are driven by hatred because you have not been able to visage, to see, to perceive that they are invading our privacy already. Does not mean that what they are doing is right. In my yesterday broadcast, we will talk about unity and diversity. I try to remind us that as a child who grew up in Bende State, I never knew there is a difference between Asian and Benin people. As far as we were concerned, when you are from Orion, Esako, Ekpoma, Awuchi, and Urumi, we see all of you are the same. And I also reminded you that as far as we were concerned, whether you are Ejo, Urobo, Ishekiri, Abraka, Oli, Patani, and the rest of it, we see all of you as Ejo. And I say, when you come to Anyoma, whether you are from Ndokwa, Osimili, Anyocha, or Eka, or you claim you are Inuane, what we know is that all of you, as they call us, Bendelibo. But inside of us, we know that Alimuke, land have boundary. Land have boundary. And so as a car man, I am a car man. And when I see Ndokwa man, I reference Ndokwa man. We know there is a huge difference among us. And I can't come out and tell you Ekwani people are Abo people. But when I see them, there is something in me that yearns. These are my brothers. But our language differ. Okwane don't speak a car language. And if Anyoma project was to have been concluded, I cannot come out and tell you that Anyocha speaks a car language. Anyocha cannot come and say Osimili speak Ndokwa language. And so it is an insult to our people when you accept that we speak Igbo language. Osimili, Ndokwa and Anyocha relatively could understand each other more than that of the Igbo. None of us has claimed anybody to be speaking anybody's language, despite the fact we know Eka is the hardest among them. One person can come out and agree the either Utofiu, Ubujiu, or Weshu, Dere, and so on and so forth. And I can come to Eka and then I will say Nane Konore, Woma Baba, Lieni, and so on and so forth. It's applicable to the Osimili. It's applicable to the Anyocha. Nobody has claimed anybody. And you see, flip-flap, we understand ourselves. But our language is our power. God has coded it in such a way that there are things we can pronounce. But you have to be incorporated into our society for you to pronounce it. This is where your language becomes your power. And so each time somebody comes out and tells you that you speak my language, do not take it just as a vocal expression. It's embodiment of power, unimaginable. It's like somebody coming to tell you, your life belongs to me. No, our life does not belong to anybody, not even our parents. Our life belongs to the only person who has the power to give life. And come to think about it, the Bible made it clear. It said, for he creates tribes, tongues, and nations. And so, I am trying to call your attention to this simple fact. I want you to believe, I want you to agree, I want you to campaign viciously that you don't speak Igbo language. Those group of ethnic group who say they are Igbo, whether Biafra, and they say they are speaking Igbo language, the one Samuel Ajayi Crowther gave to them, that is their business. Because they manufacture what is known as Central Igbo. That is where they stole different language. They stole Arochukwu language. They stole Ihechowa language. They stole Utoto language. They stole Ngwa language. They stole Umuahia language. They stole Enugwezike language. They stole Abakaleke language, Izi language, Ikwo language, Anyoma language, Okwane language. They stole all of them and compiled it Central Igbo so we can understand ourselves partially. And I say, Go to control in Imo State, as if you are going to court. There is a junction there where Rogers used to mold people during his tenure. Go and look at the signboard there. You will see the name of the communities that are mounted in that roundabout. I tell you, none of them is Igbo language. At least not the Igbo we understand. Because when somebody who say he's an Igbo tell you that I am from Nnempe, please, in the Igbo, what is the meaning of Nnempe? And I'm sure 80% of Igbo people don't know the meaning of Nnempe. Until Samuel Ajayi Crowther gave you that your central Igbo, you want to assimilate me. It's an error. If you are from Igbo, Biko Kwano, what is Amandoba? And I'm sure 70% of Igbo people don't know the meaning of Amandoba. Let's go by that for now. And so all these ethnic groups have been recolonized by the Igbo British organization that later metamorphosed to Igbo. In the Igbo, be deceiving yourself. It's not only the Igbo that did this. This is the same way Yoruba have their central Yoruba. Hausa have their central Yoruba. All these things should stop. Because the Igbo Biafra are taking it further. And we can't afford to keep them quiet. Understand clearly. We just want to set the record straight. There was nothing like Central Igbo. I can tell you where you come from as an Igbo man when you speak your dialect. Anambra can easily tell you, Rafoa, Emo, they have their way of talking. Once you talk as an Anambra man, despite where you come from, Abatete, Iduoba, wherever you come from, Mbose, Ihiala, all of you, I know who you are. If we go to Imo State, it doesn't matter where you say you come from. If you speak, I will know who you are. And if you are from any of these places and you go for the other region, if you speak, I know who you are, because your language is your power. And when the Ikwere man speaks, I will know the type of Ikwere you are. Whether you are Ishiokpo Ikwere, if you speak, I know. Whether you are Ndoki Ikwere, if you speak, I know. Whether you are Ikwere of the Rumo Orosi, Omo Orosi, and its environment, if you speak Chuoba and Buoba, I know who you are. Because it's all Ikwere language, and they are the same people. But there is a code that empowers each and every one of them. When I go to area like Igrita and they are speaking their Ikwere, I will smile. Because somewhere it's easier to understand. Go to Rumo Orosi. Does the name even sound like Igbo name? Let them speak Ikwere. You will know Ikwere don't speak Igbo language. But somewhere along the line, we create a platform where, as trying to form a homogeneous front, we can understand ourselves easily. After all, we are one Nigeria. But that does not give anybody right to tell you that Igbo people are Igbo. It's our choice to say so. You cannot kidnap a girl and say you must be my wife because I love you. No, two of you must agree, because two cannot work together except they agree. You must confront the girl, woo the woman. I love you. Let's build a future together. And that woman have to study you. This is the kind of man I love. Okay, it has to be black. It has to be short. Maybe it has to be tall, it has to be fat, it has to be quiet, it has to be talkative. I need a muscular man who can defend me, depending on your fears of the past. And if you meet the criteria, the woman will oblige and marry you. Hopefully you maintain that agreement, or else you will hit divorce. This is a union that will not last more than 100 years. But you see, we will be here for a very long time. Imagine where we are coming from. And so this is not something you agree and tomorrow you start crying. Because if it takes you 1,000 years to accept that you are what you are not, it will take you 3,000 years to rewrite the history. Our fathers did not accept, neither did they protest against it. Now we have to go through all these ups and downs to make our point clear. And now, I am talking to the supposed Igbo group, most especially Agbo people. Agbo people who can understand Agbo. And Yoma people who can speak their dialect. Ndi wenye sena alionye wondwa, alionye wondwa, omena alienye razomokoro, omena alienye rasolo, alionye wondwa. And if your language is your power, who are the people telling you that, oh, you speak their language, they give you power? They could tell you they give you life. And so when Nnamdi Kanu was running mad, speaking from his subconscious mind without considering the consequence of his utterance, he practically told you, I know I'm a very powerful man. I can decide who live and who die. It's only who gives you life can decide whether you live or you die. If you are not meant to die, the Creator, nothing can kill you. Nothing can kill you. Sometime in my life, I was electrocuted. I marched on a naked wire, high voltage naked wire, when it was raining heavily. I stood there. I feel the current going through my body. And I was shouting, I am being electrocuted. People ran close to me to touch me. I was still there, paralyzed. I couldn't move, but I was still speaking. My mind, my brain was still very active. I tell them, don't near me. Just look for how to disconnect the wire. I stayed under that high intensive current for almost 10 minutes. Before they knew it was not a joke. I couldn't move. It has pinned me down. And then somebody went to disconnect the light. It didn't kill me. And everybody wondered why I survived. That is not the first. That is not the second. That is not the third time. And that is some of the reason when we know. All of you, oh, we are going to kill that guy. It's not in your place. I am your destiny and I'm your doom. When my time is up, you don't need to fight for it. I will leave. But until then, you don't give me life. You don't give me life. And you can't take my life. And so by the time Igbo Biafra begin to tell you, you speak Igbo, my dear, don't be fooled. It's not because they love you. If you agree that you speak Igbo language, you will agree that your land belongs to Igbo people. This is the point I want you to make. My ancestors who made this adage has made this adage even before my four fathers were born. They said your language, who could be your language you speak, or your language in my dialect, who could mean your land, is your power. And then there is a miserable man there telling you, how about people speak Igbo? How about people speak Igbo? How about people are speaking Igbo language? And they proceeded by telling you, how about land is Igbo land? Ikode land is Igbo land. My brother, it's not just about what they say. The more they say it, the more it becomes true. The more they say it, the more it becomes true. But this is the error. As a child, I used to hear people mock the supposed Igbo people. That was in Lagos. I said, who are these people? They said they are Igbo people. They were born and brought up here. They don't go to village. During December time, they don't travel. Some of them are in Ibadan. Different area. You see 99.9% of Igbo people you used to see in the 80s, supposedly, in the 90s, and down to 2000. Maybe currently, who don't go home. Watch them. 90% of them are not Igbo people. 90% of them are Nyoma people. 90% of them are sub-Igbo group. Because we married so many places, and because of the similarity in our language, we realize some of you can come home, some of you don't go home, some of your children can't speak your language, but you answer that name, Igbo religious Catholic name, just to be close to Jesus Christ. The same way we answer Paul, Peter, James. They are our people. Under Anyoma defense, we carried out forensic investigation. Look at families we thought they are Igbo people from the southeast who don't go home. And each time we come close to them, it will shock you. We went to Lunge, a place known as Lunge. We carried out forensic investigation on families you think they are Yoruba. These are Abo people. They are lost already. And their children can't even speak Abo. And we talk to them. Nane, their father will smile. O tele ni biebe no. Nloro ni Yoruba. Ya hai. Muma no alieni no. But the man has disconnected his children from their source. But he tried and give them Igbo Catholic name. Chukwu Emeka. Chukwu Bonna. Chukwu Buike. All those Catholic religious names. We answered because our father trusted them. Now they want to destroy us. And so people will ironically see them as Igbo Biafra. And that is number one advice. Start naming your children according to your language. Forget about the church stuff. Peter, Paul, look for deep Abo name and be given to your children. Because a day will come where we need to separate the wheat from the chaff. Since Igbo Biafra don't want us to sleep, they have murdered sleep, they will not go to bed. We went to Modakeke. We saw a host of Abo people, not just Abo people, a whole host of Ijo people. Their name is Tunde and the rest of it. And when we confront them, you see they are Urubu people, they are Shekiri people. Mistaken identity. Maybe those ones are Bendel Yoruba. And then it dawned on us that those people, you say, oh, they are Igbo people, they don't go home. Majority of them are Nyoma people. And the heartbroken aspect is that most of their father, even Anyocha self, can't even speak their language. They can speak Igbo even more than our language. I do not blame them because the Igbo Biafra people are there pushing their culture, their tradition, whatever it is they have, to the narrative that is it. So when I meet, let's assume Igbo man, I say, they are happy. But they can't come to my space and tell me Daro, or you don't know Ndewo in your own dialect, it's Daro in my own place. They will tell you my own is a different dialect. No, it's a dialect under their language. Very frustrating. And the moment I agree, how can you own something you don't know? I should be the one who owns Igbo because there is no Igbo you will speak. Despite the type of Igbo, I will know what you mean and I have a replacement in my place. But maybe because we have softened so much, we are now accepting them. When I call my son Ikechiku as an Abo man, it's an error. Ikehi. That is Ikechuku. Because Chi is not in my place. We don't call him Chuku. We call him Ehi. Ehi. Deal with it. But if I say Nwehi, you will not understand. But then I say Nwachuku. Oh, it's Igbo name. I don't blame you. We adjusted so that we can flow. But you have taken it for granted. And now it is time for you to return. We're going to set up classes and begin to teach our people our real language. And one of the purposes of this broadcast, first of all, is for you to know that your language is your power. Number two, you must benefit from this broadcast as anybody you are, is that you are not a subgroup of anybody. And the earlier you begin to call your children their name, the better for you. I read an article online from one Asian man. He said, I don't know what is causing this problem, this hatred on social media. As a child, as an Asian man, I did not know there was a difference between we and the Bini people. Because my father's name is Odion, and Bini people answer Odion. And then my name is Obumudiame, something like that. And he said Bini people answer that name. And I am from Urua, and there is a Bini prince known as Urua. Today now we're on social media. Somebody is telling you, Isha is Igodomigodo. Igodomigodo was a kingdom that Bini introduced. Yoruba do this one, do this one. It is Igbo Biafra people that has infiltrated you. Deal with it. If the Bini wanted to claim anybody, they would have done that long ago. Because one of the above Bini made it clear. Let a car speak a car. Let a shan speak a shan. Let it do speak it do. Or don't you know the parable? The people who allowed us to maintain what we have become. You think they were, if actually they want to colonize us, as Igbo people want to colonize us, that all of us will not be speaking Kuyo, Ko, that all of us will not be rapping Bini like another man's, that nothing concerns us. My dear, deal with it. Let us proceed to the 13th. Now, we have come to a stage where you must understand. You don't know what your language can do for you. I was traveling one day in a couple of friends. We were actually driving, and the police stopped us. And they were searching us, and normal daily routine. And I was looking at their name, the name they have in their uniform. And I saw one of them written Chukwuemeke. And they were taking too much time to allow us go. And I told the guy, and the policeman was shocked and looked at me. I said, he said, he said, for those of you who don't understand, having been stopped by these police people, I saw the name written there. That is Chukwuemeke, not Chukwuemeka. Because Chukwuemeka belongs to Central Igbo people who have Central language. We don't have Central Igbo. It is either you are speaking Owa, you are speaking Ute, you are speaking Abavo, you are speaking Urugudu, you are speaking Eka, you are speaking Ekmo. We don't have dialect. None of us is dialect. We are all language. Because if you go to Ekmo, you begin to hear another language from Eka. That is Funi Mere. Funi Ejakode. They don't say anything without putting Funi. But the Igbo people, we can't say it's a dialect in Eka. No, it's a language in Eka. All of us are language. I am language itself. Because nobody is claiming anybody. When a working for a while was confused, tomorrow they are Bini, next tomorrow they are Igbo. They are still confused, and hopefully they will get their sense. They are Eka people. Because they are not only Bunujas on Bako. You can collect money from Igbo Biafra people who want to destroy you completely. The saving grace Ibaki people have is that let's see how you are going to cross to Onitsha. If you like, go to Nri. Iwonye Nri. Oh, you go and Nri. Maka no acho no. Unu kapasha pu anya no register no abato makasa. And I'm coming. And so the man said, how did you know I'm Abo man? I say your name. And you see why I like Abo people, Eka people. You see why I like my people all my life. It's only one Abo man I met in Port Harcourt. And I saw his name is an Abo man. And I thought, oh bro, no. You condom? He said, hey, I'm not Abo, don't speak that thing for me. Just give me my money and start going. And I was shocked. First time in my life. And it never happened again. And I said, this man, I will teach him lesson. He's a policeman. And I told him, it's not as if you have faulted me. Your own is I must give you 500 naira. And you are a man. I took the 500 and gave to their collector. And I drove out. He never knew I have a factory then close to that place. And so every day when I carry goods across that point, I will look for him very closely and park and give him the 500. And say, yeah, Narima, the way I see him, Narima. He got angry, started harassing. I will deal with you. I did not clear this motor. Asaboma, I want to deal with him, Asaboma. We don't thoroughly rubbish. He said, clear. Come down, he was vibrating. Their boss said, what is going on? I said, don't mind him, he's my brother. Now shame the warrior and so. Every day he must collect 500 naira for me. The painful thing there is that I made him see, you're my brother. I'm not obstructing his duty. That is his problem. Oh. He must swallow that pride. Take me to where you are taking me to. Your guy says, it's your brother. I said, ask him now. And their boss now is Sabo man. Say, Wonyabo. He said, don't worry, go. I followed that man up like that, like almost a month. This thing was happening around the Bueche area in Port Harcourt. And then they later posted him to Mbuoba, NTA Road. I didn't see him again. And one day I drove past that place and I saw him. They didn't stop me now. I clear. I said, when Ede 500 at home. He said, young man, you are threatening me. I said, when I threaten you, you will know. I want to find out if you are a person or you land abo. I didn't leave that man. And on that very day, on my way coming back, he stopped me and I cleared. He said, I've been thinking about what happened and I'm truly sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I shook him. I embraced him. And I told him where we come from. We became friends thereafter. This is not about tribalism. But then you go to another checking point. There are tribes that you see their name. He said, it is common in Igbo people. If you see Igbo man stop you, speak Igbo. He said, but you hardly see other tribes do that like that. The Yoruba policeman stop Yoruba. Malo. Finish. That is their power. This is not promoting evil. This is to show that your language is truly your power. We check our values because this is the only way we can secure our identity, our heritage. All of them are attached to our language. So who told you I speak your language? Deal with it. If you are not from my place, I don't speak your language, and my language is not a dialect because we are not subgroup of anybody. But you will not understand this benefit. You are there, you don't speak your language. You don't know what you are losing. You don't have privacy. Anybody can invade your privacy. You think the colonial master, as they call them, those imperialists, those old generational terrorists who invaded everybody, what do they do to you? French will come and tell you association and assimilation. So the moment you can say, comment allez-vous, je viens bien merci, qu'est-ce que ça, c'est un blast, to the extent that they are spending money to teach us comment moulez-vous, rubbish. Why are they desperate? They take your language. They take your power. They give you their language. They give you power. That is why stop answering Igbo name. When they help you destroy your language. Deal with it. Gradually, subtly, they're taking it away. It was not a threat until we see the end of their journey. I need you to accept this message wholeheartedly. An Igbo man will not agree that he's speaking my language. And yet he wants me to agree that I speak his language because they are running on Wazobia. Who does that? No, who does that? And so, like I was saying, when the imperialists came, what they want is you must speak our language. When they came, they gave us Queen's English. Go and look at Ojukwu and go on them. When they speak, you will think they are from Britain. You begin to hear them say, well, fellow Nigerians, that generation of Nigeria were speaking Queen's English. They were in school teaching us, I go up, I go. If I go up, I go down. It was very difficult for them. But they said if they can teach a parrot to say, God bless the Queen, we, monkey and babu, we must learn their language. Today now, if I can't speak English, you'll be mocking me. As if there is a Igbo man that can speak Abo. Is there any Igbo man that can speak Abo? But if I can, you are there judging my line of grammar. Who cares for your grammar? They took my language and gave me their language. Why wouldn't they control me? Why wouldn't they control your economic sector? Why is Saudi Arabia not speaking English as official language? All those countries, Russia, Ukraine, that refuse to speak English. Don't you know some of them, China and Japan, when they meet Donald Trump will say, yes, you're welcome to America. Those people will say, chon, 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 chon. Most of them can speak English, but they know the purpose, the position of their language. I don't wonder. Why do you think today in Nigeria, in Africa, go and ask West Africa Examination Council, if you don't pass English, you are not going anywhere. As if English, do they manufacture motor in English language? China and Japan, their product, come and look at the airport or the things they build for us in Nigeria. They don't put English, they put Japan. You must learn Japan. Is that not most of the problem we're having? Were they not colonized? Now colonial masters are now shielding their sword. Some Atoro Igbo Biafra now want to continue from where they stop. You think we don't know? Stop it. And so first of all, go to school and learn your language. And all of you blogger trying to defend your cultural heritage, the journey starts with learning your language. It doesn't matter how boring it looks. Continue. I saw one family, Ibaki people, and I give kudos to them. I actually copied the link. Ibaki woman who is married to Igbo man, and all their children are Igbo. And I was baffled. Igbo speaking Igbo. Their mother introduced, I say, I was so happy. The language is your power. All my life, when we are fighting because we have issue, the moment you speak Abo, that nobody separates that fight. Only in few instances, only those of us who are society value advocates, only us trust such kind of action. Now let me explain further why you must learn your language. Then in Lagos, where they used to call Oshodoke, those of you who know Lagos very well, I was driving across Oshodoke in the 90s, and then some group of Agburu hijacked the vehicle because I was actually buying something from the hold up and said I'm causing obstruction. And they cleared me. And what they did not count on was that the people in that vehicle were my siblings. Before you know, they start attacking the motor. Normal Agburu way now. This one college, this one college, this one. I told my brothers, I said, just hold one person. That person will be the evangelist of other people. But there are barracks around that axis. There are police people around that axis. You know Lagos movement. There were many. Some are carrying my engine. Some have opened the boot. They're looking for what to loot. And I can't hold all of them. I told my brother, don't pay attention to any of them. Let's hold only one person. And we succeeded in holding one person. We gave him the panel beating of his life. I was speaking my language. Hold him very well there. And the boy spoke Abo. And said, but this was Abo boy that was saying, and after we say it's Yoruba. That is why when I see you, you are saying, oh, I'm Hausa, we are doing this. We know the game. You see somebody claiming to be Yoruba defending Igbo, watch them. Now baby fatre. You see somebody say it's Hausa defending Igbo, watch them. Now baby fatre. Because he hear Igbo nyokwa. And I was like, hold on. Igbo nyabo, or say Igbo nyabo. You know me here nene. I said, onwaria no, onwaria. Igbo many Igbo nyabo. And ya hakokoi. Those of you who don't understand. And I told the guy, wait. You mean you are from Abo? He said, yes. And you're doing like this. He said, there is no job. That is why you are saying, normally, I would have pardoned you. But you have insulted our people. You should not even have told me that you are a Abo person. Because we may be poor. We may be illiterate. Money may not be water. But we have a value. I told my brother, magnify the naken. We beat that guy. Beat him. You know Lagos now, when that kind of thing happen, everybody will just mind their business. So that they don't collect what they don't know. So they were just looking at us. After beating the guy mercilessly, we keep him inside the vehicle. Call your people, let them return what they took. They brought what they took, and they discovered that our pressure is more than their pressure. We told them, this guy is our brother. He's going for rehabilitation. We took the guy, took him to our working place, gave him food, advised him, give him money, and asked him to go. We actually told him, if we catch you there again, this time we will break your leg for you. You don't have anything to do. Go back to the village and be useful. Stop constituting nuisance. Because where we come from, we are not that kind of people. We are not angelo. There is a limit to our madness because we cure mad people. This is what we are trying to protect. This is our value. Your language is your power. And now imagine, as a Abo person, you can't speak your language. How is it? Now, my immediate younger brother, he lives in India. And something very bad thing happened to him when he arrived in India. He was very young. You know, he won't go Akata. The person he went to visit, the moment he entered the compound, there were issue of drug. Drug police came to raid that house. So he was coming down from airport. They picked him from there. Painfully, that guy spent 18 years in the prison in India for something he didn't know. And what made his case worse was that, you know, those agents now, when you reach there, you will sell your return ticket. So they didn't see his return ticket. There was no way to prove that he was just coming in from the airport. That guy spent, my immediate younger brother, he spent 18 years in prison in India. Everybody, my mother, will have given up that he's dead. But my mother keeps saying he's not dead. He's alive. We'll continue to search for him. I'm coming. Why did I bring it up? 18 years later, he was actually released. And inside Indian prison, he learned more than 4 major languages in India. More than 4 major languages of India. He was actually too small before my parents sent him abroad. This is because the boy pressured them. They didn't consult us, like pampering him anyway. But God saved him anyway. And so, while he was in prison, without hope of coming, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 18 years, he can never enter university if he get brain. So, he has accepted his fate. Maybe he was going to stay there for a lifetime. And so, he devoted himself in learning Indian language. And then later on, he was released. We got contacts. And he could speak Indian language in their major cities. From New Delhi to every corner of India. He knew Indian very well. Because it's just like Nigeria. Somebody who can speak Igbo, speak Yoruba, speak Hausa. Believe me, you are an asset. That is what my brother became at the end of the day. And so, along the line, he married an Indian woman. And this was because, trust has been built because of language. That is why the Igbo Biafra people are not trying to build trust. They are trying to impose their identity on us. Let's see how it goes. Let's continue with the story. And so what happened later on? My younger brother came home for the first time. Because he needed to perfect his document. The first thing he did was he said, take me to Standard Chartered Bank. Chartered Standard, or how do you call it? To open a domiciliary account. And when we got there, we discovered that almost 90% of the bankers in that bank, is it Chartered Trust or Chartered Bank? Why is the names escaping me? Anyway, almost 90% of the bankers there were Indian people. And immediately they would enter the office. They looked at him because he was actually going for business passport. So he could go in and out freely, So he needed that domiciliary account to match his business passport, international passport. So he just entered there. He saw one of them. He started speaking Indian. All the Indians there were shocked. And instead of them to open account, they almost closed the bank that day. They were very happy. Somebody could speak, not just one, not just two. They had a long talk. But they caused the long story short. We did not go through any process. They even gave us, we bought dollar from them. The one that is acceptable. Everything was express. And then we went to Lagos, Indian Embassy. When we got there, the queue of Nigerians on the gate there was amazing. My younger brother told me we don't need to go through this process. He went to the gate. The police were there, the army were there. Those of you who know Indian Embassy in VI. He signaled the security man, who is also Indian man, from outside gate. Police people were saying, go back, go and stay in the queue. He said, no, I'm not staying in the queue, I'm coming. Then the Indian people who were inside saw like rowdiness on the gate. And he looked at one of them and speak the Indian for them. Because he know their tribes when he see them. The same way you will know Igbo man, know Yoruba man, know Hausa man. Even from the shape of their head, you will know them. And they paid attention because he spoke their language. And they say, what's the problem? They say, want to do business, this international business passport, in India. And the man said, told the army people, police people, open the gate, open the gate. My brother entered in less than 1 hour. They gave him his complete document. That is the power of language. These are foreigners. They were thrilled. He opened up for favor. Imagine if it's Abo Embassy. No, imagine if it's Abo Embassy. And be truthful to yourself. If you see the person that speaks your language, are you not happy with them? Don't you love them? Don't you feel relaxed with them? And so ordinarily, it would have been better we all speak our language. But then there are criminals there who are not looking at the benefit of lingua franca, but they are using indirectly to philosophically re-engineer the mind of the next generation of our people, making up sub to them. We are not sub anybody. Agbom is not sub of Benin. We may trace our origin there. And so if we trace our origin there, I say we are not sub Benin. How can you, who come from Equatorial Guinea, you sons of Abraham, which I am not, how can I be your sub? You that don't understand my language. How can I be speaking your language? Because of your interior motive. Now to cut the long story short, fellow Nigerians, if they are mocking you because your language no sweet, my brother, your language is your power. Soup no sweet, or monkey no fine, in mama like am. Ofe no nya ajanjono. Ndi when you say ofe no nya ajanjono, you can't say my mother's soup no sweet. You are not a legitimate child. Nobody does that. Your mother's soup is the best soup. Your language is the best language. Let them deal with it. Anybody that cannot pronounce it, I was told, it was a joke anyway, that a Yoruba person went to London and they were asking the Yoruba person, what is your name? And the person said, my name is Alhaji Tukumbo. The name was so long. The Yoruba said, I can't pronounce it. He said, deal with it. Can't you change another name? He said, no. Today, Yoruba promote their language. They promote their culture. Igbos are there promoting their culture. They make program in Igbo. They speak it. You're proud of it. We don't go to disturb them. And sometimes I run across Hausa people. Those ones, they even have Hausa radio for BBC. But when we gather now and say, let us promote our Ika language. If you now begin to say, oh, this Igbo language is sweet, this Igbo dialect, thunder fire all of them. And you think they are praising you. And when you say, no, this is a cannot Igbo, they say, Siam, Siam, brainless. What Nigerians do to them, divide and rule. Come and unite us now. Now, understand, the truth must be naked. No sugarcoating. And that is why I have to walk this way. Go and learn your language. That is the only identity you have to secure your heritage. Finally, look at Oyibo people. All the artifacts they looted in Benin today, all the artifacts they looted in Africa, and anywhere they conquered, according to them, they are still studying it. Because when they see inscription, they don't know what it means. You now begin to see those who are archaeologists and anomatologists and kurulutology. That is the reason they have not claimed it. They got to Egypt. They saw magnificent structures they knew nothing about. But they knew they were Africans because of their nose like my nose. To hide the truth from you, they started breaking all their nose. Until people begin to ask questions, why are you breaking their nose? European supremacy, Oyibo supremacy. Now they are not breaking nose again because all of us know the truth. You know what they are trying to change narrative now on the internet? That ancient Egypt was not African. Because we already know ancient Egypt were black Africans. Now, they want you to believe now, no, it was not them. It was alien, the reptilians, the Kemite, the Ogudugudu. They come from Mars to Jupiter. They come to harvest. They now open factory. Make una they deceive on ourselves. But the truth is, the knowledge we have lost as human has kept us 1,000 years behind schedule. Because those of you who say you are conqueror, when you see an invention bigger than your mind, you destroy it. Sometimes you steal it. You cannot disciple it today because that language eludes you. So today, they are still in London studying the artifact of the ancient Benin Empire. Deal with it. They will never know the meaning of Oba Tokpeye. Deal with it. And I must thank Wiki regarding the issue of one king from Hausa land becoming the chairman of my king. They don't do that. Oba don't go to transfer. Wiki gladly told you. Why the domination? They are suggesting for Tinubu Yoruba man now to make Hausa man king of my community. And I no get sense. And somehow we're afraid of gun and bullets. Let's romance it. You will not destroy us. This is a new era. The era of believing it's over. This is the era of knowing. The emir of Sokoto or emir of heaven become chairman of your location, not my village. But you people can impose it on us. But the time will come. Nigeria will revolt from itself. And believe me, my happiness is that from the ashes, a new nation will be born. But if we can build this new nation, why burn down the old one? I'm supposed to be speaking Abo in my broadcast, but I've discovered that almost 70% of my Abo people have lost their language. And I cry for my people, and I pray for my people. And I've not lost faith that after this broadcast, share it to Abo people. Let them embrace their dialect, their language. And that is the end of this broadcast. Let me receive my insult. Let me take my dialect, my insult session, comment session, because all Igbo Biafra we do here, because they are the main threat here, is to insult you. I see Mercy, I greet you Mercy. For some reason, it looks like it's difficult for me to see the comment these days, but then we will still respond to them. I see Saji, I greet you Saji, good morning. Adasi AJ, I greet you Ototuoma. And of course I see Samuel Okuri, good morning my dear brother, I greet you. Samuel, let's see, I see Daniel Onwara, I greet you Daniel Onwara, good morning. I see Mercy, good morning. And the Mercy say they use language to quantify the identity of people. They have forgotten about blood and ancestry tie. Very dumb set of people. Of course, Mercy, of course. And then no Igbo Biafra here to insult me so that I can bring up the next topic for them tomorrow, because their insult is what motivates me. And of course, I see my brother there, Henry Chimezie. Good morning from here. No Igbo Biafra insult. Where is insulting people of Nnamdi Kanu? Insulting people of Nnamdi Kanu. Where are you? Where are you? No insult yet, but they will come later. But don't forget the purpose of this broadcast. It's as simple as ABCD. Teach your people their language. Name your children after your language, even the one you don't know the meaning. Because we are coming. We're going to set up classroom. Can't tell you what school we take Uzikwa so ekao. Ekukwa gogo eka. We take Uzimeo. I greet you worker. And that is as simple as that. Have a nice day. I remain George Onyebe, and I take my